Hey friends, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. I am very excited because I want to do a full face of all of the newest makeup releases. I can also share my thoughts on some of these products after doing my first impressions on them as well. I also have a new eyeshadow palette to play with today and I am so excited. So we're gonna dive into it. Make sure you grab a snack and grab something to drink. I want to start off with the eyes. We have a new palette from Oden's Cosmetics. This is called the Eternal Twilight Palette. It's so crazy because I actually saw this palette leaked last week. The whole collection was leaked last week by a really big influencer. When they showed it, I was like, oh, okay. I've had this collection in my possession for about 2 to 3 weeks. I could not wait to play with this palette and show you this palette on camera. The artwork on this palette is stunning. Look at how stunning this artwork is on this palette. I don't think that they've done a palette this big before, or maybe not in a long time. Usually they're a lot smaller than this, so we're gonna play with this. I'm gonna go in with the Naturium Photo Glow Lip Mask. This is huge. If you are a fan of the Naturium lip balms, you're going to love the lip mask. It has that same vanilla kind of smell to it, and I love using this at night because when I wake up, it's still on my lips. My lips are hydrated. All right, so let's dive into this palette because I didn't even show you the inside of this palette. So you're probably like, girl, this is the inside of the palette and wow, we have a light side and a dark side. I love it. When I first opened up this palette, I immediately thought of that Nomad Cosmetics palette. I'll pop a picture up of the palette that I'm referring to. I wore gray today because I really want to play with the blues. These kind of tones right here are just I love these kind of tones. So I really want to play it with this. I want to do something fun and cool. I feel like I've been doing a lot of more simple looks. I kind of want to get back to my dramatic eye. I'm going to start off with this black shade called Blackest. Is that what that? Yeah, Blackest. Where I want it. I am such a huge fan of Oden's Eyeshadows. I feel like they're so pigmented and they show very true to color on the eyes. I love their palettes. I really, really do. This side of this palette is definitely giving me spooky season vibes, and I'm here for it. I'm loving it. Now that we have that shade all blended in the crease, it's messy. Trust the process. I want to go ahead and go in with this shade to blend out that first shade that I put down. So let's see how this shade is gonna look. Let's see, because this could be a disaster. Or it could be great, but I do feel like this shade is gonna blend this black shade out really beautifully. It's gonna kind of like soften up the edges too, so it's not so harsh. That looks good. That looks good. That looks so good. That actually was the perfect shade to blend out that dark shade here. You see how like we went from this to this? That is so perfect. Wow. I'm going to take a little bit of this cut crease carver. I'm going to basically cut this out. You can use Vaseline or micellar water. I'm just using this particular product that is made for what I'm doing. Everywhere that I put the cut crease carver, I cleaned it up and then added an eyeshadow base onto it. Now we have the fun part, these beautiful, beautiful shimmers. Like look at this one. It is kind of like, it's kind of marbled. Ooh, ooh. Okay, I was not expecting that color. This blue is stunning. Oh my gosh, wait a second. Wait, these? That is insane. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Okay, so that one kind of looks like a topper kind of shadow, where maybe if you go on with like a glitter glue, but whoa. Look at that. This shade right here is called Burnout. That one feels silky. This shade Void kind of feels like a regular. That one is very chunky. So you really have to work that one into the skin. But look at these shimmers. That blue, oh, it's like a duochrome. This shadow is truly calling my name. Ooh, that is so pretty. That one is gorgeous. Look at that one. Ooh, that is beautiful. That one kind of looks like dispersed glitter. That one's called Guard. I think before I go in with these shimmers, because I feel like a lot of the shimmers in this palette seem to be more toppery kind of shades. I want to put a shadow down, like a base down. So I want to go in with this lavender color here all over the entire look. I actually got a little glitter on my eyelid, but that's okay because we're going to cover it up with glitter in a second. think I'm going to take some of this shade here, maybe, and let's see what this one looks like all on the lid. I really like this. Ooh, that's very pretty. I kind of want to hop over on this side. Take a little bit of the shade Guard. It kind of reminds me of Space Cowboy. And I kind of want to mix this in to it. You probably can't tell on camera, but it is very sparkly and very reflective. It is gorgeous. I actually really like this look like this, but I feel like I should add a little bit more, maybe. I don't know. I kind of don't want to mess it up, but then, I don't know. Let's add a little wing. So I am going to take that black shade and we can kind of create a little shadow wing here. It's really small though. Nothing too crazy and too big. Just to kind of round out this look. That is so pretty. That's pretty. I like that. I just feel like it's missing something. It's missing something. I feel like I want to add like a darker color. I don't know. I feel like I want to maybe add some of this color to this look, but I also feel like I could mess it up. I feel like I would honestly mess up the look if I did that. So I don't know. This is very intense. This is a very intense color. Just a little hint of darkness to the look. All right, so the eyes are done. I really like this palette. I just feel like I gravitate more to this side. I feel like this side has just a little bit too much pastel for me. Not enough deepening shades. So I don't know. I kind of wish that this was separate palettes rather than it being this one really big palette, but I can see how some of you might actually like having two palettes in one. But I do wish that this was in their normal size palettes. We're going to be using the Huda Beauty Easy Blur Primer. I really like this for blurring, not so much for oil control. I do really like how this primer blurs the pores. Also going to use my Holy Grail, which is my Oil Sucker Primer. I love the Oil Sucker Primer, so I am going to go in with the Huda first. And if you missed my video, this is a very blurring primer. It did claim to have some sort of oil control aspect to it, but I really did not get that. Also, this Huda primer has like this cooling sensation where it kind of feels wet when you apply it to the skin. Okay, so I tried to wipe some of that glitter off. I think I got a good bit of it off. Now I'm going to go in with my Oil Sucker Primer. This, I literally just placed it in my T-zone. I think I used a little bit too much. This is a primer you do have to let it set down for about 2 to 3 minutes. When I tell you this primer really, really does work, it is such a holy grail of mine. It is so good. You can already see immediately how it just adding a little color corrector. Now there have been so many foundation releases. I've tried about 4 new foundations this month alone. I've tried the LYS, the One Size, the Huda Beauty, and the Patrick Ta. And I was like, which one do I want to use today? I want to revisit the one I tried first because I have been filtering through all 4 of these foundations to really formulate my thoughts, come back and let you know how I feel. We all saw my wear test on this, okay? If you haven't seen it, definitely go and check it out. But I really like how this foundation looks. It looks like an elevated skin tint. That's exactly how I've personally been using this foundation. This foundation is definitely not geared towards oily skin, but I will say this foundation wears beautifully when I use my One Size Oil Sucker Primer and the One Size Setting Spray. I do not get nearly as oily as I got in my wear test, and it wears beautifully when I use that primer because the One Size Oil Sucker really does help to control my oils, and that's what I need. I tend to get oily in my T-zone, but nowhere else. Like, it wears beautifully on the rest of my face, but my T-zone, yo, it gets oily. But when I use my One Size Oil Sucker, I am good to go. I've been wearing this foundation to work because I really wanted to come back and let y'all know how I feel about it. Out of all 4 of the foundations I've tried so far, this one is probably coming in last, even though I like it. I just like the other 3 more than this one because the other 3 aren't glowy like this. You know, usually I wouldn't reach for a glowy foundation, but I love how this looks like skin, and every time I wear this Patrick Ta foundation, I get so many compliments on how good my skin looks. It really does make my skin look very, very good and very healthy. I just wish that this was more of like a satin foundation. It doesn't have to be matte. I just wish it was satin, you know? I wish that was like, you know, it's kind of like a happy medium. Sometimes I want to use a different primer, you know? But I just know that with this foundation, the Oil Sucker is top tier. I don't have a new cream bronzer, which is interesting. So I am going to go ahead and use my LYS cream bronzer. Y'all, I feel like I need a deeper shade now. I feel like this is more of like my winter shade. And I need something for now. Callie is on the couch snoring. That girl, she is sleeping down. She is sleeping. Oh my god, I don't know if y'all can hear her, but she is loud. For concealer, we're going to use the Zanessa Myrex Yummy Skin. This concealer is so good, y'all. So good. And you really don't need a lot. And I say that as I'm over here piling this concealer on, but I feel like today we're going full glam, right? I feel like we're going glam today. I do wish the applicator was a little bigger on this, but I love this concealer. It is so, so, so good. This is the new One Size Infinity Sponge. I've really been loving this. Every time I do my foundation, I've been using this. But with the Patrick Ta foundation, I like to use a brush to get the most coverage out of it. I'm going to spray a little bit of the Makeup by Mario setting spray before I set everything. I've been loving taking a setting spray and spraying down all of my creams before I set. This spray really does remind me of MAC Fix Plus. Not only is it like a finishing spray, but it also is like a setting spray too. So I really like that spray for steps like this. Also to finish off my makeup to kind of give it that lived-in look, just like I like to use my Charlotte Tilbury. Since we're talking about Mario, I'm going to go in with his setting powder. This has literally been the only setting powder I've been using. Truly, it is so good and so blurring. I have raved about this setting powder. If you know, you know. And we're going to set this under eye. Look at how blurring this under eye is already. Literally found my new favorite setting powder. Truly. It is such a good powder. And the way this just sets down everything is just beautiful. It just sets beautifully, and you still can see that glow peeking through with whatever glowy product you put on. Since the first time I tried it, I have not put it down since. I don't have a new bronzer, but y'all know the drill. Your girl going in with her Make Beauty bronzer. My favorite. You can see the pan. I use this literally every time I do my makeup. If I'm not using this bronzer, I'm using the NARS one. Also love using this for my nose bronzer slash contour as well. I have these blushes from Singe Beauty. They did send these over to me in PR. These are a glowy blush, and one thing I will say, it's not glowy to where it's like highlighter glowy, which I really like. The only thing is that I feel like I need a little bit more blush color, like more punch in these. These are a lot more subtle, so I like to use these more as like blush toppers rather than using them as like blushes on their own, because I need a little bit more oomph with these blushes. So I am going to use these, but I am going to go in with the Fenty blush today because this is also a newer blush that I have in my collection. This is the shade Summertime Wine. I think this shade is so pretty. It's very, very pretty, and I just really feel like it's going to go so well with this eye look too. A nice little cool toned eye, a berry blush. So I'm going to take this shade called Risky Raisin, and I'm going to go on top of this Fenty blush. Since I'm not going in with highlighter, we're just going to use this on top, and it just adds this really pretty, gorgeous glow and sheen. This is also Singe Beauty's first time going into color cosmetics, so I'm very excited for them, very happy to see them expanding. I'm gonna go in with the Tower 28 Banana Powder. This is one of my favorite steps. I like to go in with this Tower 28 Banana Powder after I've applied blush, so I can kind of use this to clean up and brighten at the same time. So I like to just take this powder and take what's left and kind of go over where I placed the blush. And do you see how it just makes this more seamless, flawless transition between the under eye and the blush? Whereas on this side, it's harsh. So this is a step I literally cannot skip this step every time I do my makeup because it gives me that brightness, but it also helps me to clean up under the eyes. so that it doesn't look harsh. Like, look at that. Let's finish the eyes. I want to take like this icy blue kind of color. This is the NYX Epic Wear liner in chili blue. That is gorgeous. For my lower lash line, I'm just going to take some of this color here and this color and do a little mix. For lip liner, I'm going to go on with the Morphe lip liner in Trendsetter. This lip liner is good. Very good and very affordable too. For lips, I think I want to use one of the Fenty gloss sticks. I am thinking I want to use Spice Cold because I love it, but I don't know if this will go. We'll see. We'll do Spice Cold and we'll see. Love it. It's a little browner than I want. Taking some of Fenty Glow in the center. All right, that kind of lightened it up a little bit. We're going to finish off this look with this new setting spray from Freck Beauty. If y'all have not tried Freck Beauty's lip liners or this setting spray, it is so good. I am convinced, when I say I am very convinced, that Freck Beauty's products are so long lasting. If you want a lip liner that's not going to go anywhere, Freck Beauty. So the name of this is the Face Hack Blur and Bond Setting Spray. And the mist is fine too. You do have to shake it up before you use it. All right guys, so that is it for today's video. I had so much fun just playing with some new makeup. Love my eye look today. It's very pretty and I really do feel like for some reason this is getting me excited for spooky season. I don't really think this is intended to be a spooky season palette, but it kind of is giving that. Everything that I used will be listed and linked down below in the description. Let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in my next one. Bye, guys.